This week's episode of the Curious Podcats is brought to you by you, our valued listeners. If there are any topics you would like to hear us talk about, you can submit your suggestions at curious.podcasts@gmail.com. Also, if you want to show us some love and support, why not pop over to our Patreon page at patreon.com/thecuriouspodcats. So yeah, I mean, it doesn't matter who's starting. I mean, you can start if you want.
Well, you know, it's like every week there's an argument about something. Why can't you just make your mind up about something? Why don't you put just that little bit of effort in like I do?
I've got too much Gemini in my Pisces.
Fuck off. Right. Well, I guess I'll start.
Makes a change.
I mean, it's not as if I put a whole hour of my life out last night to write this.
I suppose it's better than putting your back out.
Hello, welcome to the podcast. I'm Lawless, apparently.
And I'm Doctor Drewcifer, definitely.
I do football. Right.
It sounds like a continuation of the argument that got cut short last week.
Keep going.
Commitment. I
I
love you, committed.
Yeah, that's great. You could write that down, actually.
Well,
you know, like I do. I write stuff down now.
I don't write stuff down.
Clearly, I know. Yeah.
No, I type it up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll go type that in. Right, so what are you talking about with Dylan?
I'm talking about...
Oh, wait, I'm not finished. Today, we've got we've got Richy's Corner, and we've got a guest, or two. Jedward from X Factor. Do you remember Jedward? Of course you do, everyone does.
I wish I didn't.
So I'll be expecting a phone call from them, and I'll hand it over to you, Joe.
I am so grateful. So you're really serious about this Richie's Corner thing being a regular thing, aren't you?
Well, may as well.
That's the only thing.
Do you not like it, though?
Well, as long as you censor it a bit.
Someone's actually said something nice about you this week.
That has to be fake. Okay. Well, I've got a couple of fun facts for us. I'm talking about Project Bluebeam this week. But before that, a few episodes back, we got talking about remote viewing. I think it was when we were talking about the Montauk project.
Yeah.
You asked... Well, you... I think you asked. I don't know. You might have just said, or you might have asked about remote viewing being able to see through time.
Oh, there's a thing that the Vatican apparently has called the coronavisor or something.
I'm familiar with it. Yes. That could be a topic for next week. But there is a differentiation between what the Montauk project was doing, with the CIA, the US government, with the remote viewing, and the ability to see through time. Remote viewing is specifically about seeing through space. When you're able to see through time as well, that's less remote viewing and more clairvoyance.
Like premonition stuff and that.
Yes, yeah, premonitions where you can see through space and time. That's what clairvoyance is, where you can see through space and or time, where remote viewing is limited to just seeing through space, because it's all in present time. So I did mean to do this a couple of weeks back, doing the clarification on it. I just kept forgetting. Guess I'm just not committed and dedicated.
It can't all be like me.
Thankfully.
Yep.
So there you go. So there is the long-promised clarification on the difference between remote viewing and being able to see through time.
Right.
So it actually fits quite nice into fun fact number 1.
Open the door, kid. Pod comes in.
Yes, you'll need to unlock it. So obviously, what I'm talking about there is dealing with Cold War era stuff. Well, fun fact number 1 is dealing with Invasion of the Body Snatchers.
Mm-hmm.
And now you're thinking, Invasion of the Body Snatchers, Cold War, what the hell, Drew? It turns out that the Invasion of the Body Snatchers was propaganda,
Mm-hmm.
as things have tended to be over in the States with the media.
Yep.
And the idea behind it was the fear of sleeper agents.
Oh,
So like
yeah.
Russians trained to think, breathe, and talk like an American, like living in American society until they get activated.
MK really, isn't it? It's like a deprogramming and then a certain trigger when it wakes the agent up.
It depends on which version of it you're looking at. Traditional, there was sleeper agents. It's not like the program the way like MK Ultra was looking at programming people with mind control. It's less about mind control. It's not where they created like a fake persona that was in control. That's more Hollywood stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Where traditionally it would be a case of they're just acting as this fictional character that's been thought up for them to portray themselves as until the day they're given the activation orders, and then they actually go ahead and do what they were sent over to do in the first place. So if you're looking at Hollywood, total mind control, they don't even know who they are, but in reality they knew who they were.
Which is kind of spies, like...
Well, that's exactly what a sleeper agent is, a spy.
Right.
It's all about espionage. I mean, there might have been cases where they were experimenting with the mind control element of it, so that they didn't even know that they were Russian spies. Yeah. Maybe that's something that can be looked into in a later episode.
Mm-hmm.
But whether it's just a
fucking seagulls.
I know, you would think we're back at the beach. But it could either be, it could be either, like whether it be the Hollywood version or it's a case of, you know who you really are, but this is who you're going to pretend to be, and once you get the phone call with this word, then you ditch that identity and you be you again, and you do the mission we're sending you over to do.
Yeah. That's quite believable.
Yeah, that's a more believable one. But that's where Invasion of the Body Snatchers came from, was the idea of the enemy impersonating our own people.
Right.
So there you go, fun fact number 1.
Well, that's pretty cool. There's no chance you're one of them.
There's no chance you're one either.
I forget who I was.
Surprised you remember today.
I set an alarm. Right. It's still you, isn't it?
I suppose so, yeah, unless Jedward calls.
Oh! Forgot about Jedward, aye.
Give them a call, see where they're at.
Right, let's get me foot up. Talk about timing, wow. Hello, Jedward. Yeah. Are you on your way? Oh, why? It's not my fault. Well, you should always keep your passport safe, to be fair. Hey, don't talk to me like that. Hey, sure, fuck off. Put Edward on the phone. Put Edward on the phone. Edward? Yeah, fuck you. Put John back on. Yeah, John? Fuck you. Yeah, okay, right, we'll try next week. Right, no problem. Bye.
You know that you've got blood all over your arm? Or is that just like tomato sauce?
I don't know.
No, I wasn't on about the squiggly line. That's clearly pen, but it's like above it, sort of like there, like a line going along. It looks like
this is great content.
Well, what do you expect? We're trying to get Jedward on.
Very aggressive.
The Irish, aren't they?
That's a bit of a stereotype, isn't it?
Actually, that's a good point.
Especially when you're holding a bottle behind your hand.
I just fancied a nice cold Budweiser.
Mm-hmm.
Or two.
Mm-hmm.
Seeing as you don't drink.
Nah.
Right, that's number 1 finished. Okay, fun fact number 2. You remember the game Lemmings?
Oh, aye. Yeah.
Now, what's... Now, can you remember the stereotype around Lemmings at about the time the game came out?
They were just idiots, weren't they?
Yeah, they would just go and just like jump off a cliff and commit suicide.
Aye. Yeah.
You know that was actually a lie told by Disney.
Disney?
Why?
Why?
So there was a documentary that...
But as in Lemons, them little things on the game, yeah?
Yeah, which are based on the real life Lemmings.
What's real life Lemons?
I'll show you. Well, they don't wear clothes, that's for starters.
Ooh.
So there you go. There's a real life lemming.
Oh.
Look.
They look nothing like what they were in the game.
You know, cute little rodent. No green hair, no blue robes or whatever.
So did Disney make that game?
No. But the game was based on a lie told by Disney. That everybody fell for. And I'm trying to remember what the name of that documentary was.
It looks like a little hamster.
I know, it's part of the rodent family. Right, let's have a look.
Quite nice.
No. Calm your passions.
Fuck off.
Calm your passions.
Right, well, seems Joe's doing something that he didn't actually prepare. Oh, you got it? You got it? No.
There we go. Now it's opening. Right. I'm just there we go. So it was a documentary called, well, a nature documentary called White Wilderness.
Mm-hmm.
Right, and let's have a quick double check. When did that come out?
God, the game must be a canny age now.
1991 when the game came out.
Fucking hell.
The documentary came out in 1958. So that's how old the lie is.
How would you remember Lemons for the PS1?
It's older than the PS1.
I didn't realise it went further back.
Yeah, it was a PC game originally.
Was
Yeah. Now, for starters, do lemmings run and jump off a cliff?
Probably not.
Yes, they do.
Really?
When being chased by a predator.
Well.
And the only reason they'll jump off like a cliff edge is if there's water below, because they can swim.
Nice.
So they do not jump to their death. What happened in the 1958 documentary, the film crew, the production crew, you know, they were watching them, you know, great. And then they decided to chase them so they could get footage of them all jumping off the cliff.
Oh.
So they set it up. They deliberately set it up to tell a lie.
Why though? Why would they get? What would they get out of that?
More
No
views.
heads.
And I don't have an answer to that. You know, I think Disney's probably been behind a number of lies that have been told over the years. You know,
Well, they've got influence. I mean, if a lie's said to you when you were a kid, probably gonna believe it.
yeah.
Yeah. It's like the best time that I think it's the first 7 years of your life or something. That's when
The most impressionable.
when you get most of your values and stuff on there.
Yeah. Mhm.
So
Yeah, because I mean the brain's still that's when it's doing the majority of its developing. Like,
you're a sponge at that point, aren't you? Really?
yeah, and like all the neural pathways are still being formed during that time.
I think mine is still forming.
You're under the false impression that you have any to begin with.
The doctor says I'm due them any day though. Along with puberty, he said I should hit it any day now.
But with a brand new penis.
Sure.
Yeah. So, but yeah, there you go. Fun fact number 2: lemmings are not suicidal. It was a hoax perpetuated by Disney.
Well, Disney, if you're listening, get a fucking life, will you? Dickheads.
I feel already I need to give my voice a little bit of a break.
What you want Richie's calling already?
Yeah, I mean, I know I've still got Project Bluebeam to talk about, but why don't we do...
Break it up, innit?
Yeah, let's break it up. Let's do Rich talk. 'Cause after Project Bluebeam, I've got nothing to talk about anyway, other than Word of the Week.
Right. Okay, so we've got some fan mail from Mrs. Talia, Jenna Talia.
Really?
What? She's from Yorkshire. She's 66, married, with 6 grown-up kids. It's just her and her husband now, Mike. All the kids are growing up and stuff. So they start listening to the show on Friday afternoons in our conservatory. I must admit, we do get a bit freaky while listening to the show. Just good for you.
Must be your voice again.
Must be my voice, and last week, I was just at the good part. It was just about to arrive, and Richy played that silly music from Richie's Corner. We both burst out laughing, and my husband threw his back out. What a waste of a Viagra. But, no harm done. Can I please have a signed picture of Pods, and a picture of Richie's flaccid member? P.S. Why is Joe a wanker?
Yeah, well, are you sure you're not getting the end of her message mixed up with the end of last week's message? Because that was identical.
No, it's strange, isn't it? How everyone just...
One's a picture of your flaccid member and wants to know why I'm a wanker.
Yeah, and the same picture of Pods.
I mean, well, the same picture of Pods, that I can fully understand. I mean, it's Pods. I mean, our listeners haven't even seen Pods. We've seen Pods. He's adorable.
We barely see them. He's never been back.
I should give it next door, not and see if I can kidnap him.
Just borrow them on Thursday afternoons.
I'm actually thinking about give it next door, not to see if I can do that.
Should you know? Right, so this one is it's a Ask Richy, like a Dear Deirdre type scenario.
This should be good.
Just wet the old whistle there. Right. So this one's from Jacob from Sweden. Hello Richy, quick question here. If you were a werewolf, would you still buy orange juice? Probably not, no.
Do you even buy orange juice to begin with?
Why not? The orange juice? But no, if I was a werewolf I probably wouldn't, no.
You just use your insane strength to break the door down and steal it instead.
Just squeeze oranges with me claws or whatever they have.
So you'd still have orange juice, you just wouldn't be paying for it anymore.
We've got one here from Mike Etteris from New York. And this is a quick one actually. This is for you, Drew. Why is Drew a wanker?
That is a mystery that is today yet to be solved.
That's strange. Right.
All we know is that Drew is a wanker.
This one is from Carrie Mysak from Liverpool. Hello Richy, I'm a business owner. I'm recently hiring due to my short staff. I have received loads of CVs and even done a couple of interviews. And I have to admit that the most qualified for the job is a cat.
It wasn't me.
No. Don't mean to be judgmental or anything, but I've heard bad things about them. That they are terrible employees and really bad assistants. What should I do? You can answer this one as well if you want.
I'm going to answer it and say, just give up and accept the fact that the cat's going to be your boss anyway. So just go ahead and hire the cat, and then you might as well quit, because once the cat's there, the cat is always in charge. In Egypt, they worship cats like gods.
weren't ruled by cats.
I don't know if they were like actually ruled by cats, but they certainly behaved as if they were being ruled by cats because they saw cats as embodiments of gods.
Yeah.
They're like the gods' avatars. They were seen as guardians of the underworld as well.
Well, they keep
a bit like
evil
how
spirits away, don't they, as well?
Yeah, warding off evil spirits. And we actually have our own version. Well, see, we have our own version. Christianity has its own version. So I suppose by we, I would probably say like modern Western world.
Mm-hmm.
But it is something that I think is specific to Christianity. What's something that you tend to see on the top of churches?
Gargoyles.
Gargoyles. You know, and people who don't know, they'll see a gargoyle and they think, "Ooh, demon, bad, evil." No. Gargoyles.
That's scary, though, aren't they? To scare them off.
Yeah, but the gargoyles are there to ward off the evil spirits and the demons, to try and keep them down below.
At bay.
Yeah, keep them at bay. You know, so I suppose in a way every sort of like culture and religion's got their own version of it. You know, Egypt was cats, Christianity, gargoyles, and who knows with the others.
Yeah. I did write a few little things down about cats. Cats make terrible assistants.
Well, yeah,
I had a cat assistant once and it did not work well. The power mad.
Mm.
You give them a little bit power and that's it, it's over.
Yeah.
They're lazy, sexist, angry, lie in stupid places. And it's not so much the fact that they mightn't turn up for work, it's that they mightn't leave. You know?
Yeah.
They might just stay there.
But out of that list, there's one that I have to question you about.
Mm-hmm.
How are cats sexist?
Have you met a cat? Cats
Well, yeah.
don't care what gender you are, or who you are, or what you've done. They just hate everyone.
Well, yeah, that's the opposite of sexism.
No, but they make a point of it.
Well, no, because sexism is if they were sort of like looking down on one gender in particular over the other.
No, these just judge all of them.
Yeah, but that's not sexism.
Listen, right? I did not spend an hour and a half of my life researching cats, right? For you to pull me up on sexist. Do your own research. Cats are sexist.
No, but what you said there, the way you've described that there, is the complete opposite of what sexism is.
I didn't write this, Joe.
Then who did? You just said you just said that those were.
No, I wrote some bullet points.
Uh-huh.
But it's a well-known fact that cats are sexist.
No, it's not.
Well, maybe you don't know, but...
Okay, that's all. I'm going to prove you wrong.
Mhm.
I'm going to prove you wrong.
Oh yeah, because Google's going to know, isn't it?
Oh yeah. Well, if you want, I can use Bing instead or Yahoo.
I don't give a fuck what you use.
Are cats sexist? I suppose some can be. No, hang on. No.
Fuck off!
No, I suppose some cats can be sexist because one of your uncles had at one point a dog that was racist.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's strange. Yeah. No, I mean,
but as a whole, in general, cats are not sexist.
I had a dog,
I don't know that.
who didn't have any time for me, even though I loved that thing to bits. But he was all for my girlfriend.
Maybe he just doesn't like cats.
Maybe he just didn't like me. But I was like, he seemed to be more of a woman's dog, which was annoying. Loved that dog.
Maybe it's because she had a more dominating persona about her. So she came across more as an alpha than you did.
I don't think it was so much alpha, because it was like,
Is it
just used to like the kiss her and stuff and made a big deal about her walking in. It's like, I feed you, you little shit. So yeah. So before Joe got on about that, cats aren't great people to employ,
Okay, so
if I'm honest.
listeners, what do you think? Are cats sexist? Send your answers in to curious.podcats@gmail.com and we'll read out the results next week, if there are any.
Oh, I'm pretty sure there will be, Drew.
Yeah.
You can bet all the money in the world you will have a response next week.
I'm looking forward to it.
Oh, so man.
I am. I'm looking forward to it. So, is that the end of Richie's Corner for this week?
Yeah, I think so, yeah. Oh, sorry. End of that question was, P.S. Why is your wanker? You know, I'm starting to see why they're asking this question now, you know.
I know, you've known me a lot longer than they have.
And I still ask myself this question.
And you will still get the same answer. It is a mystery.
Bored. Right, Horan, Project Bluebeam.
Project Bluebeam.
Wrong!
Now, I'm not going to get into the ins and outs of Project Bluebeam. There's quite a number of podcasts at the moment who are getting into Project Bluebeam, who are looking into it. It is getting more and more coverage at the moment. I don't know why there's a sudden resurgence in it.
It's because of the weather balloons and the UFO sightings.
I say, are you on about the things that have been getting shot down in America lately?
Yeah, and then there's been loads of UFO sightings. And it's like, now the government's like, oh yeah, UFOs are real. It's like, well, we know. We've been telling you that for the last 50 odd year, you know?
Yeah. What was it? Project Bluebeam was like a 4-step plan, wasn't it?
What I know about that is that they were going to fake some kind of alien invasion.
I think that was towards the end.
It's basically you're going to see gods in the sky and stuff.
Yeah, so like all the gods of all the different religions would appear as holograms in the sky, and then they would all merge into one
world religion.
Yeah, and one being, form a new religion, which would then result in a new world order.
Yes.
There would be a fake alien invasion, as well as during the time of all the gods appearing as holograms in the sky to the point where they'll get merged together. There would be, I suppose, in a way, type of like subliminal messaging or mind control being implemented through the use of technology. Mobile phones, so I suppose I could tie into the whole 5G conspiracy theory.
Careful. But...
Oh no, they might. I don't care if they're listening. It's things like that. The advancements in technology bring it closer and closer to where something like Project Bluebeam can be made a reality. And for anyone who doesn't know, the Project Bluebeam is a theory that was put forward by Serge Monast, and it's supposed to be a group effort between the United Nations and NASA that are doing it. Now, one theory about how they were going to be able to put the holograms into the sky. Now, we know that they've been sending up more and more and more satellites over the years. And especially with private agencies like SpaceX, sending things up so it's not even government related.
Yeah.
So people can say, oh well, Elon Musk, he's got money, he could be in on it. He could be part of this new world order government. But it would be a case of, okay, so the technology for projecting the holograms is up there, could be up there. But how would they get the images to stay in the sky?
Drones.
No, not drones. It goes back to maybe a decade ago. We're at that point in our lives where the concept of time is just whatever. Chemtrails.
Oh yes.
Yeah. So one of the theories out there is that chemtrails would be getting used to, hold the image of the holograms in the sky.
Uh-huh.
So we've got the fake alien invasion, New World Order, all the religion thing. But there was also that they were going to fake the rapture.
Yes.
And there was going to be...
Well, that's kind of what it is, really, isn't it? Because, the rapture, Jesus comes down on...
Yeah, well, that's all about the second coming. And I'm going to get a bit more into that side of things in a moment. And another part of it was going to be the development of seismic technology.
Mm-hmm.
And by that I mean technology created to be able to induce earthquakes
Like,
at specific locations.
that's been about for a while, I've heard.
And I'm going to come back to that as well. And what would happen is that where they would pick where the earthquakes would happen. And they would go, look, look at these ancient relics that have been unearthed by the seismic activity. And say, these ancient relics are totally contradicting everything that every religion knows to be true.
And we did not put them here.
Not at all. We have never seen these before in our lives. Which, if you can't guess by the tone of our voices, that would all be faked. The ancient relics would be fake. Now, I haven't looked into the whole thing really about the technology for pinpoint accuracy seismic activity for inducing it. However, there is a film that uses it called The Call.
Oh yeah, I've seen that.
Where the technology is produced in order to be able to create earthquakes anywhere else in the world that you want. It's the next level of mutually assured destruction.
Yeah.
Gone on from nuclear missiles to that's just earthquake our enemies to death. So there is that. So that's already in place in films. Now another thing that's interesting is that, which leads me to believe Project Bluebeam is a load of hogwash, is that in Star Trek, originally, there was a movie that was going to be getting that Gene Roddenberry wanted done, and he got told no. I'm trying to think. It was 1975. Oh, there we go. 1975. So the script was done. It would have been called The God Thing, which seemed a lot similar to what was said in the Project Bluebeam conspiracy theory. And then again in 1991, in Star Trek: The Next Generation, there was an actual episode done called The Devil's Due, which used the idea from The God Thing.
Yeah.
But Project Bluebeam didn't come about. The idea of Project Bluebeam didn't come about until, what was it? I think it was 1994 when he published the book. 1995. So about 94, 95, he comes out with the book detailing Project Bluebeam. So this is after 2 attempts by Star Trek. Well, 1 attempt and then 1 actual release.
Yeah.
From the second attempt. So it's already there in Star Trek. The story's already been told.
Yeah.
There was a thing about how his children were taken away from him by the government.
Right.
Well, he's...
Oh, yeah, I heard this the other day on TikTok.
Yeah, now, apparently the reason his children were taken away from him had to do with the fact that he was trying to homeschool these children.
That's right.
But he wasn't giving them the correct education. So his children were taken away from him so that they could be put into school and educated properly.
Brainwashed by the government.
As all of us usually are. And then there was his arrest, which was mentioned a few episodes ago. He was arrested in 1996, and then...
Is this the same guy who died like a year later or something?
No, a day later.
A day later, right.
But at the time, in the previous episodes, I said within 48 hours, because I couldn't remember, it was actually the day after.
Right.
he dies of a heart attack. And
Sorry.
but I said I didn't know what the reasons was that he was arrested. Well, it turns out, I was under the impression that the reason for the arrest was never released. I was wrong.
Mm.
He was arrested because he was keeping his kids out of school.
Right.
After he'd had his right to homeschool them revoked, and they were put back into
Mainstream.
into public schooling, he's like, well, no, F you government, and kept them home, away from school, so they arrested him. Next day, he's dead.
Dead.
Heart attack. Or was it a heart attack?
I think you're right.
Yeah, I think it was. Yeah, died of a heart attack in his home in December 1996. So it doesn't really scream sort of like government conspiracy there regarding these kids. I mean,
Yeah, but the fact that he died a day later does.
that could be put down to the stress of the situation about not being allowed to decide for himself about what sort of education these kids are getting. As that's
Or
all.
it could also be the government killing them.
Even the way I'm describing it could be seen as the government killing them.
I mean, we'll never know.
Because the government are the ones who caused the stress. That could have
Exactly.
been the reason for the heart attack.
They could have blew his head off and said it was a heart attack. If no one sees the body.
This is true.
I don't believe anything them say.
But yeah, so the whole thing. So it was already done in Star Trek. So there we go. The guy had to have been delusional. He's taken that and made it reality for himself. But Star Trek isn't the only place where it's appeared in literature.
Uh-huh.
Now, do you remember me telling you about a group of books called Left Behind?
Yes.
Okay, so obviously Left Behind is a series of books dealing with the rapture, and I don't mean a fake rapture in the chemtrails in the skies. I mean the actual rapture, and it's all a work of fiction. It's a series of books. It's had a number of movies. The first movie had a remake with Nicolas Cage in it. Not as good as the original. Better production quality, but the story wasn't as strong. And it's even had It's even had a few games. Game adaptations as well. I'm trying to find what year that book came out, because I think it was 1995 when the book came out.
Left Behind would be like, because when you're raptured, you're taken up to heaven, aren't you?
Yeah, so the faithful, in the rapture, the faithful are... Well, remember how last week when we were talking about Enoch?
Yeah.
The book of Enoch. About how Enoch was... What God didn't kill Enoch and take his spirit up, he just removed him from earth.
Mm.
Well, that's what the rapture is. Enoch is the first person to have been raptured.
Right.
The second coming is the rest of the faithful being raptured.
Yeah.
And Left Behind is about those who didn't get taken up to heaven, those who are left behind because...
Left for the Antichrist.
Left for the Antichrist, for Judgment Day. Because that's what the rapture is. It's about Judgment Day. Those who are truly faithful, okay, you're straight up to heaven.
Yeah.
Those who aren't, this is now your wake-up call. This is your chance. You can either accept God in all His glory, and then be belatedly raptured yourself, or you can continue to reject the teachings and face judgment.
Mm-hmm.
Which is where where it would be like the whole hell on earth.
Yeah.
And
The 7-year thing, isn't it? There.
I'm not sure about how many years. But yeah, so the book was released in 1995, which was a year after Serge came out with his book about Project Bluebeam. Now, whereas Project Bluebeam is all about it being fake, Left Behind is a fictional piece of work about the real rapture. Now, even though the Project Bluebeam book came out a year before the first Left Behind novel, obviously the word would have been out there like with
Yeah, but I mean, Left
with
Behind is
agents.
just basically a film about Revelations.
Yeah,
Bluebeam's like a film or whatever about the government faking it. Really, isn't it?
yeah. It's just like the closeness of it, you know.
Well, it will be, but it's like...
you know, they're less than a year apart in being published. And you know when you see it's like a blockbuster movie come out, and that same year there's like a B movie version of it comes out, or multiple B movie versions of it come out, you know, or there's the joke, you know, you have Deep Impact, which is the realistic version of a comet striking the Earth, and then you've got Armageddon, which was the Bruce Willis version.
Yeah.
You know, but neither of them were B movies. They were both really good. You know, you can either have the realistic Elijah Wood version or the Hollywood Bruce Willis version. Oh, and it is quite sad what's happened with Bruce Willis.
Oh, no.
I can never remember the name of the condition, but it really is a shame what's happened.
Yeah, we all get old and bad, and it's a shame.
I know, but losing the ability to be able to like communicate, so you wouldn't be able to see his lines anymore. But anyway, that's potentially going to rabbit hole us. In actual fact, talking about rabbit holing or going off topic. Since I've already mentioned about, I've already taken us back to last week regarding the Book of Enoch. I listened back to last week's episode, and we made
I know we did.
We goofed. I accidentally said the name Moses instead of Noah, and we went off in the completely wrong direction from me saying the wrong name.
Yeah, don't take this as fact, right?
But where I was
human, you know.
But where I was going with it last week is that how could Enoch write about Noah when Enoch was raptured before Noah was even born?
I don't know. I don't really know much about the Book of Enoch.
Other than there's 3 versions of it. Which I didn't know until you mentioned it last week.
And they're not really part of the Bible. But they are, but they've been taken out by the powers that be.
But yeah, so given we now know why he was arrested. Okay, the heart attack the following day, given that he had himself said that the government were after him, yes, that looks suspicious. That does still look suspicious. But we now know it was the whole thing. Like, the reason his kids were taken off him and the reason he was arrested was because of his kids being homeschooled when he wasn't teaching them, the state issued curriculum.
Allegedly,
and then keeping them home from school, not allowing them to attend school, which is why he was arrested the day before his heart attack. So we know what the issue was there surrounding his kids. As I said, the story that he came out with for Project Bluebeam matches what Gene Roddenberry wrote for the God Thing and what was told in The Devil's Due in The Next Generation. The story for those two is pretty much spot on with what Serge said for Project Bluebeam. And then on top of that, at the same time, we've got Left Behind being written at the same time that he's wrote Project Bluebeam. I genuinely believe that the guy was just delusional. That he must have had a lot of mental health problems, and that he's seen The Devil's Due. He's read up about the God Thing. Maybe even heard, probably not, but maybe did hear about Left Behind being written. And maybe, I don't know. Maybe
to sum up,
maybe he was just like tripping on a load of coke or speed or something.
I would say,
and thought it was all real.
You don't believe it. I do. But I think everyone should read Revelations.
Yeah. At the end of the day, like Lawless was saying, he believes Project Bluebeam is real. I don't. I think that the guy was delusional, and that there is a genuine explanation for most of the events that went on. The heart attack, that is suspicious. The timing of it, I mean, that's one thing I can't really explain, except for maybe that it was just elevated stress
that's
levels.
How easy it is to fool people.
Yeah. But at the end of the day, listeners, it's up to you to decide which way you believe sounds more true.
But if you want to be cool, you could agree with me. Just to piss you off.
Well, no, not really. Because I mean, things like conspiracy theories, I want to believe, but I don't want to believe blindly.
But that's what you're doing when you believe the narrative, like you're saying there that he was
That's
he was
why I'm not
homeschooling
really...
his kids and stuff, and yeah, he might have had a heart attack. I mean, the only thing that's made you believe that is that them have told you that. Whereas I hear that and go, bullshit, prove it. Do you know what I mean?
But then I could say the same to you, prove it wrong.
Well, that's it. We don't know. You've got to have an open mind and make your own decisions. You know?
Yep.
Don't believe what the mainstream tell you, and because as far as we know, it could be all lies. You know, take it with a grain of salt, kind of thing.
And what if both versions of, and what if both sides of the coin are a lie?
Well, there's an even bigger problem, isn't there?
What if everything my research has turned up is proven to be a lie, yet at the same time, it is proven to be a lie that the government was behind it all about his death, and there really isn't a Project Bluebeam. So what the hell went on then?
Well, we'll never know.
No, we'll never know. He believes blindly. I do my research before I accept.
I just don't trust the government.
Oh, neither do I.
Like, as if they're going to just suddenly tell you the truth, even though they've lied for God knows how long about everything, and they've been caught out so many times, and people just forget and say, well, the government wouldn't do that. Of course the government care about me. The government don't give a fuck about you.
And that's because people just... The majority of people don't want to make the decisions for themselves.
Well, that's it.
That's how people, the general public, have come to be known as sheep.
Sheep, yeah.
They elect people to be their shepherd.
It's more about responsibility. It's like, well, if I believe the government and I'm wrong, that's the government's fault, not mine.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, just
it's not
think about it. Have your own thing about it, Yeah. But anyways.
So there we go.
Word of the week.
Okay, well, before we go to word of the week, let's see if I can make you laugh.
Oh, and
How does a duck buy drugs?
something to a quack, surely.
Yeah. You got any quack?
Then you got a quack. What do you call a dog that does magic? A labrador.
I like that one. Okay then, word of the week. So my word of the week is haboob.
Yeah.
And yes, I picked that word for the reason you're thinking. But haboob is a thick dust storm or sandstorm that blows in the deserts of North Africa and Arabia or on the plains of India.
Not what I would call it, but fair enough.
Well, English isn't their primary language in that region, so...
No, just when I see one of them, I wouldn't be like, it's a haboob.
No, you would
just like,
you'd be like,
whoa, what the fuck's that?
Or,
That's what I would have called it.
Or I would have looked and went, sandstorm, shit.
Aye.
I would be like, it's a sandstorm, shit, what's the actual word for it? Yeah, it's a haboob. You're in the wrong area. This is China. Why are you talking with that accent? Shut up, you racist. For anyone who tries to call me off for being a racist for doing that accent, I am actually 19%. 19% of my DNA is from India and the Bengal region.
Just go 20%. It's more believable.
I say 20% would be a bit too rounded of a figure.
Perfect.
No, it's 19%. Well, 17% mixed between North and South India, and 2% from the Bengal region. And for anyone who's interested how I know that, I got a DNA test kit done with Ancestry.co.uk.
Turns out he's not his own dad.
No, I am not my own dad. Thankfully.
Would you like to hear my word of the week?
Go on, then I'll let you.
Ham. You can eat that.
I should have seen that coming. I really should have. Right. Anything else?
I don't know, Joe. We're not fucking voting out, don't they?
What?
Typical. Leave it all to me.
No. I type everything up. You're supposed to be typing into this as well. You know, you're meant to type into this as well. No, you write it all down privately in that notebook of yours.
Yeah.
You know, I type in that document.
You shove your tits up.
Podcats.